Another day in lockdown, another project. So let's have a look, see what this one is. Right, okay, so we've got a small circuit board, we've got some LEDs, a IC, this is going to be a microphone, which I believe is here. We've got this little board here, which, yeah, here we go, is this little thing. It's a chip on board with a blob over it. I believe this produces some sort of music, and as it plays the music, the LEDs will flash in time with the music. So that's what we're going to be building. Here's the circuit. That's that extra little board that is on there. This is the LEDs, looks like they're grouped. The other side is all in Chinese, which is help. So let's have a bit close inspection of these components. Right, that's got them all separated. So we've got a couple of capacitors down here. There's the IC. We've got 3 resistors of unknown value, so we'll have to check those on the tester later on. We've got 3 different types of LEDs, different colours. These resistors are all the same. We've got 4 transistors and some diodes by the looks of things down there. This is the circuit board on here, and also on here there's a website which I'll put a link in down below. On there you need to type in a password which is provided on this sheet. I'm not going to tell you exactly whereabouts it is, but on this sheet there is a password. Then you can download a PDF file with the instructions on it. If you use Google Translate, it will translate this text and you'll be able to find out where the password is. Gives you a list of all the components down here. So it looks like these are our resistors at the top, with the majority, which are these here, being the 212 volt, which are just there. So let's start building it. I was just having a quick look at the circuit board, and I noticed that although I had 3 transistors on the circuit board, 1, 2, 3, I've actually got 4 transistors here. Looking at that PDF document I mentioned before that you can download from the website, it looks like we've got to install one of them onto this circuit board here. We've got 9012, which is listed there, there and there, and one of these, which is the one on the far left, is a 9013, and that's the one we've got to put on this circuit board here. So we'll have a look at that later on. We'll start on this board, I think. Right, so this is our circuit board. So I think what we'll do, because we've got the majority of the resistors down here and down here, which are these resistors here, I think we'll use these first. We'll start on these first and we'll put them on there. Now, we've obviously seen me do this a few times before, so I'll do one. We'll just bend it over like that, pop it in, bend the legs back, and that's ready for soldering. So let's do the rest of them. Right, that's got them all sort of soldered up. What I would say though is keep your offcuts of your resistor legs, because some of those will come in handy later on, as you'll find out. So that's all those resistors done now. We've also got some diodes. Let's have a look at them next. So we've got 3 little diodes just here. Let's see if we can zoom in on one. Okay, not very clear, but if you look, this end, there's a band on it, there's a black band on it. So that matches up to the line, which is just there, look. So if you see that line there, there, and also there. So let's put a diode on, and then you'll see. So that will go on like so. Pop the other 2 on. Right, that's got those on. We'll just pull the legs apart like we did before, and they're ready to solder up. Right, next thing we're going to do is the 2 capacitors that are down here. So this one is marked with a 100 UF, so that will go on here, and as you see we've got a shaded area and an area with a plus on it. If you look at the capacitor, we've got a negative, an arrow pointing to that. So the short leg is a negative, long leg is a positive. So the negative goes to the shaded area, like so. And then the other capacitor, wherever it's disappeared to, as I was saying, the other capacitor is marked with which is a 1 UF. Same thing, short leg is negative, long leg is positive. So this goes the opposite way around to that other capacitor. Put that in there. And we can solder it up. Just notice that one of those solder isn't quite right just there, so let's just see if we can clean that up a little bit. That's better. Right, okay, so that's the 2 capacitors now done. Right, next thing we've got to do is test our resistors to see where they go. We've only got 3 resistors. I've already bent the legs to save a bit of time. So let's put that in there, let's have a quick look. 220, so I can put that one straight in. Don't drop it on the bench first. There we go. Next one. So let's put that in the 10. Then let's test the last one because there's only 3, so that must go in there. There we go. Okay, and they can get soldered up as well now. By the way, it is a lovely sunny Sunday afternoon during lockdown, and that's why the bird is tweeting its head off. If you can hear the bird tweeting in the background. Okay, so that's got them done. Right, next thing we'll do is the 3 transistors. Now, the transistors, if you can see that, they have a bowed, a rounded end and a flat end, and that just matches up to the image that's on the circuit board as well. So let's put those in. These are marked with 9012. If you remember, I said there's 3 which are 9012 and 1 which is 9013, so just double check when you're putting these in. I have double checked before I started filming. So these are 9012. And they go straight in there. And then we can solder these up now. Just looking at those pads, they're quite close together, so you have to be careful with this. Now, as I said, these pads are quite close, but they actually look as if they're okay on that. Just catching them in the light so I can just see, but they look alright then. So that's the transistors done. So I think the next thing we'll do is the IC that goes in there. Now, the kit that they provided includes the IC, but doesn't include a chip holder, so I've got a chip holder out of my stock. What we need to just double check before we put it on, so if you look at the circuit board, there's a little indent, little straight line, little indent and straight line, and this end there's a straight line. Well, that little indent matches up to the indent on here. They do this because that one there is usually pin number 1, and you can see there's a dot on the circuit board which indicates pin 1. Normally to the left of the little indent is always pin 1, and it's always better to use an IC holder for several reasons. One, it keeps the temperature away from the IC, and secondly, if you do need to change the IC in the future, it's a lot easier. So we pop that on, blob of blue tack going on just to hold it in place, turn it over, and then what I'm going to do now is just put a dab of solder on that leg there, and then on that leg there, and that's just going to hold it in place. Take our blue tack off now, making sure that it's flat against the surface, which it is. And now we can finish off soldering the rest of the pins. Now we have a slight problem. We have a little bridge, solder bridge just across here. Look, so let's get our desoldering pump and let's just suck the excess solder away. There we go. Now we can solder that up again. Yeah, that's got that done. So there's our IC holder on without any problems. And we can put our IC on now. What I've got is a little tool here. Let's just zoom out a bit. And this just allows me to just make sure all the legs are straight. And I also find that just going to put it on the bench and just very gently just press down on it. Here we go, and that should just bend the pins enough, very gently. Then we can pop the IC in, just making sure all the legs are in. There we go, and that's the IC in place. Right. Right, we've got 3 big items around here. So we'll look at this one first. This is some sort of variable resistor. It's maybe something to do with timing, I would guess. Let's just put that one on. That should just clip into place. Yep, there we go, that's in place okay. And then we've got the power where the power screws in, so make sure that the silver bits are on the outside. Put that on there. Grab our bit of blue tack. Hold that in place. Here we go. And then we can solder those up. Okay, that's got them bits done. Right, let's just move this slightly. There we go, let's have a look at the microphone. So we've got a plus mark on the microphone itself, so that goes against the plus on there, so let's put that in place. Not microphone, speaker, it'd be a speaker, won't it? I keep saying microphone, it's not, it's a speaker. Because it's going to play tune. So, here we go, that's better. So plus to plus, bit of blue tack on there to hold it in place. And we can solder our speaker in place now. Okay, that's got that done. Right, so all we've got left now are the LEDs. Right, next thing we need to do are the LEDs. So this is one of the LEDs. I've had a quick look at the picture on the PDF file that you can download, and I'm going to put the LEDs on the same pattern as what they're showing on theirs. So just bear with me if I just put it up on the screen. There we go. Right, okay, so the LED has a long leg and a short leg. The long leg is the positive, short leg being the negative, and the long leg goes to the bottom, the sort of long bit of the triangle, and the ground or the negative goes to the line. So long leg goes that way around. So that's that one in. And these two, so these two, they go the right way around. I've just dropped it on the desk. So that one there and that one there. So that's them two done, and the other one goes over here. Right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to solder those up, put the rest in, and you can watch me doing that in fast mode. Right, that's got all the LEDs on, and I put them in the same pattern as they are on the PDF file. Now, one thing we've also got to do, and I really should have done this earlier on, but never mind, we've got a little jumper cable down here, so let's find one of these legs that we've chopped off. Let's see if we can get this to fit. Now, let's see. Bend that. Yeah, I should have done this a lot earlier than I'm doing now. There we go, let's just drop that in place nicely. Okay, we can just solder that up. Again, that's just one of the LED legs that I chopped off. We're just reusing it for that. Okay, so that's got the jumper done. So that's everything on the circuit board just about done. There's just one other thing to do, which is the little circuit board that goes on here, which is this. And we've also got to solder the other transistor onto that as well. So that's our next job. Right, so now we've got to put this transistor on. That's our little circuit board. And this is our other transistor. Now, looking at the picture on the PDF, it looks like it goes on with the flat part of the transistor pointing to the bottom of the circuit board, and it's in the last 3 holes. So this is the top. If you look at that, you'll see that the pads are there which need to be soldered onto the circuit board, so I'm classing that as the bottom and that as the top. So on here the flat part is to the bottom and the rounded part is to the top. And also I've noticed on the picture is it is slightly bent up like that. So I'm going to hold that in position with the blue tack, and then we can solder that in place. Right, let's have a look, see how that's gone. Yeah, that's okay. That middle leg may just want a little bit more solder on it, but let's chop the legs off first of all. There we go. Right, I think that's got that in place. So next thing we need to do is to sort out these legs on here. Right, okay, so we've got it in the vise, and we're just going to put a blob of solder on the pads. we only need to do 4 pads, and we need to do 1 at the end. Ignore the middle one, and then this one, and then the end one. Okay, so now we've got that done. Now I need to get one of the legs that we chopped off the resistors. See if I can bend my fingers, and we'll put that in place. There we go, it's got one of them done. And the last one going in. Okay, now we need to put it on the main circuit board. Next thing we need to do is put it on the circuit board. So scroll that a bit so you can see what's going on. So it goes with the blob to the outside. So something like this. Just trying to get that in focus for you. There we go. So there's the transistor on the back, the blob to the outside, and then we just need to solder the legs up. Okay, I've got that done. Just chop the legs off now. Right, that's got everything done. Let's just turn our board round. There, that's got everything done. So next thing we need to do now is add a bit of power. Right, let's add some power in then. So we have a USB cable here, and this is one I've used for several projects, so I know the wires are correct. Okay, let's get that in. Get my USB power bank. Right, here goes. Let's see if it works. Okay, right, okay, so the the annoying music is working alright, but the LEDs aren't. Come back to you in a minute. Okay, let me let me just switch this off just a minute. Right, that's better. Okay, so you're not seeing things. I do have two kits exactly the same. When I purchased these from Banggood, you get a pack of 3. So I built this other circuit up because I just could not get this one to work right. So this is the one that I powered up first, which works but only shows some LEDs working. Like so. And so I built this one up exactly the same, and only a couple of LEDs work on this one as well. Now I know what you're thinking, have I put the LEDs on upside down, have I put the ground to the plus, blah blah blah. I can say I've not. I have checked every single component, every single link, and to show that this one has got a broken link on the circuit board. So as I was testing this circuit board, I found that this link underneath, the actual copper on the board, wasn't working right. So I put a link cable in to actually get this one to work, but it's still not working right. I don't know why. So I've got 2 kits here which I've built up, which both of them unfortunately aren't working right, and at the moment I have no idea why. So I'm going to say that this one it works, but it's a fail. I might have a look at it again in the future, but at the moment, after checking every single component and checking every single link, sorry, but it's a fail. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have a better success than I do, and I'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching.